믿지 않았군. 나는 분명 가위를 내겠다고 했을 텐데.
Hex now. That's fun. I forgot to start the episode before I did this. Whoops. I'll go for scissors. How about you? That's not Hex now then. That's something else.
잠깐 정지. 너 기념품을 주고 갔잖아. 거기 그대로 있어. 견학 기념품을 집어넣어 줄 테니까.
Oh, cool. Ah, these are fun. Move in reg, Heathcliff. Nice. And they're both envy. Oh, yes, baby.
Warning, I swear a lot.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Limbus Company. Welcome back to Canto 9. Welcome back to the Unsevering. I forgot to start the episode before I checked that, but those are some fun egos. I want to have a quick look at those. Also, I can, do this. May as well. So, we made some big fucking progress last time. Huge progress, in fact. We made it pretty fucking far. We made it to Act 2, essentially. Dante was casting spells, and it turns out the Total Recall takes a lot of fucking mana and more than they can handle. I still don't really get to use my entire fucking team that is already on a back foot, and is even more so on a back foot right now, considering I can't use the whole team. But it's worth mentioning that Yi Sang, Ryoshu, and Merceau have all been absolutely fucking killing it in these combat encounters. We barely managed to deal with Sora, but thanks to fucking... Why isn't he called Yellow Jacket? It's a fucking bee/wasp pun. That's gotta be in there somewhere. That one's free. That's so easy. But regardless, yeah, he who may or may not have been a color fixer, I don't know, I didn't check his fucking combat passives and shit, probably should have, but I didn't. I'll go for scissors. How about you? On unopposed attack does not activate the skills on hit without cracking effects. Okay, so you need to clash with it, I suppose. 12 plus 12 isn't terrible, but it's not brilliant either. Although it only uses 3 envy and 1 lust, so that's very cheap. It is a Zayn after all. Consume envy ego resource by envy resin, and for every envy ego resource consumed, gain 1 ego resource each for the least owned affinities, max consumable envy resource 4. So you can use this to generate other resources, basically. Clash lose, more final power -4, and gain shield equal to envy resin times 5. So you get insurance even if you fuck this up. Heal 2 allies with the lowest HP percentage by 6% of their max HP once per skill. Ignores allies without envy-based attack skills when choosing targets for healing, excluding this unit. Clash win, deal 4 envy damage to target at less than 33% HP, or if the target has less than 33% HP, inflict 1 power down next turn. This passive's effect does not inflict power down in the same turn the Ego Gift Voodoo Doll activated, sure. Mirror Dungeon shit. That's pretty good. Is it better than Pathos Mathos? I don't know. Actually, for this team, considering the amount of envy we have, I think so. And then Heathcliff, lads. Move in reg. Highest resin charge count. Good start. At 4 plus envy resin, gain +7 charge count instead. Before attack, consume all charge count on self, deal +2% damage for every charge count consumed, max 30%. But resin reg microchip, take extra damage from Wrath and Envy. On clash lose, gain 1 burn. Interesting, that's pretty good. On hit with skills that apply burn potency or unique burn, or on hit with envy skills, inflict additional burn potency on target by half of the skill's total coins, rounded up, max 3 times per turn. So envy burn. I suppose the lure do work into that a bit, but do I even have a burn identity with Heathcliff? Do you burn? No. One must exist. Why would he have ego that does burn if he's not a burn character and has no burn? There must be something. Of course, a lot of these are uptight ones. If they did inflict burn, I wouldn't know about it anyway. But charge model L37 does definitely go well with the ego, because the ego consumes charge, so that would allow that to activate and gain him and give him charge potency as opposed to charge count. Envy Charge is probably the team we're going to be working on after Canto 9, because it does interest me, but I don't think any of my Heathcliff identities do burn. I don't think any of them do. Interesting. Well, I don't have all the Heathcliff identities, I don't think, so there's still room for it, but this would replace Fell Bullet. Easy fucking choice. Not that I'll probably get to use it anyway, because he won't even be available, because they're all somewhere else right now, dealing with a fucking Maestro. Thank you for that, to appreciate it. 51, so we've got 21 more chapters, but people have said that Act 3 is fucking massive, like absolutely huge. So I'm interested to see just how long it actually is. Let's see what's going on. More interesting than that is the actual fucking plot, yeah? And the plot twists, like how Ryoshu is actually Ricardo.
저 술래님들 이제 제 시야에서 남은 방은 딱 하나네요.
Maybe, probably, you don't know that for sure. There's just a 99% chance.
그러고 보니 예전에 우리 아빠가 놀아줄 때 불러주는 노래 있었는데.
Don't start singing it.
자, 됐어. 이제 조금만 있으면 이쪽으로 들어올 거야.
She's either gonna have a shit time or she's gonna absolutely body it. Or she'll struggle with it and then Papa's gonna come along and break it in two.
탐정님, 풀려난 제동들도 전부 이쪽으로 유인했어요. 사명들도 있더라고요.
Peckers! That's handy.
필요한 것은 전부 모았나.
I love stratagems. If you call in a 500k G on her, that should do it. The problem is it would also do it for the facility as well, but, you know, necessary sacrifices.
있잖아, 진짜 이걸로 된 거야? 우리가 겪었던 건 전부 설명해줬지만 계획은 당신이 전부 짠 거잖아.
It's all on you.
교차 검증이라면 도감을 통해 충분히 마쳤고 계획을 수정할 필요는 없을 것 같은데.
It will be fine unless it isn't. Don't worry about it.
그러다가 만약에 생각한 대로 안 되면 플랜 B 같은 거 있어?
Plan B is the 500k G.
생각해두지 않아.
I did
대단한
not.
자신감이군. 자신의 예측이 틀릴 거라는 계산이 그 안에 있었다면 분명 차선책을 준비했을 텐데.
I mean, with respect, what would Plan B even be other than run off and try and find more abnormalities and or Picatula in order to, you know, delay them further? By the way, when I accidentally skip through the dialogue that quickly, that's not fucking impatience. That's because I'm trying to get the full line to appear down there so that I can read through it. Because obviously I'm getting fuck all from Korean. I can't understand it. The problem is sometimes their lines are so fucking short, I accidentally skip them. I usually end up reading them anyway. Sometimes I'll go back and check if I haven't, but that's what's going on. I apologize for it. I have explained this before, but apparently people didn't pick up on that. That's why I do that.
이건 차선책이 아니다. 그러니 당연히 차선책도 없지.
There's no plan at all. We're just throwing abnormalities at them.
그저 부족한 인력과 공격 수단을 가진 상황에서 시간을 벌 수 있는 방법을 찾은 것뿐이다.
True.
전쟁 때는 달랐나? 완벽한 작전을 계획하고 실행하는 건 좀처럼 힘든 일이었을 텐데.
Now the question I want an answer to is that Otis obviously was in a war. She talks a lot about soldiery and whatnot. Which war was it? I can't imagine it could be the Smoke War, but I feel like she and Gregor would have more to say to each other if that were the case. There must have been somewhere else.
뭐 우리처럼 죽었다 살아나지도 않을 텐데 안일하게 생각해서 말하진 않았겠지.
Well, at the moment, you guys don't have lives to burn through either.
걸렸군.
That was the 500kg.
그래서 뭔데 이건? 엄청 신기하게 생겼네.
You should give it some of your blood to see what happens.
꽃같이 생겨서 아까 썰었던 것 중에 이런 건 본 적 없는데.
Give it a go, see what happens.
말이 통하는 것 같진 않고. 응? 이건 손짓인 거야?
Yes, yes, go say hello.
아, 그거지? 이렇게 시간을 끌어.
Yeah. The problem is it's working. It doesn't seem like it's actually working that well, though.
기분 나쁘게 뭐라는 거야? 이씨, 말대라도 꽂겠다 이거야?
What was your first hint?
되겠냐고? 이까짓 거.
I doubt it'll go down that quickly, but if it did, then we have very big problems.
잘라냈다고?
We have very big problems.
저게 잘라지는 거였어?
Well, we learned something new.
계획의 수정이 필요한 건
We must fucking run away, probably.
아니, 거기까지가 계획이다.
Ooh, okay.
외로운 순간순간을 만화나 게임 따위로 참아왔던가.
Relatable, no?
그것이 압이라는 차와의 유일한 접점. 오락을 유희로 즐기는 것이 아니라 생존의 일부로서 집착했다면.
Then
만약 그 말이 맞다면 저 사람은 말 그대로 게임을 하듯 환상체를 상대하겠네요.
people have been saying that this is probably the most meta Kanto so far, and they're right. I'm pretty sure it is. So, what would it be like to fight the Gossipium like I was playing a video game? Oh, I couldn't imagine.
그렇다면 아무 정보 없이 마주친 보스 몬스터의 가장 일반적인 공략법은?
Sounds like Ishmael plays video games as well.
거추장스러운 잡졸들부터 죽여 없애는 것.
The ads, certainly.
하지만 그런 선택이 계속될수록 목화꽃은 저 녀석에게 계속해서 들러붙는다.
If it kills her, great. But bare minimum, if it buys time, that would be nice.
너희도 겪어봤겠지. 덕지덕지 목화꽃이 들러붙은 자는.
Gotta be honest, I avoid the Gossipium whenever I can, so I don't actually remember.
머금은 목화의 공격을 받아칠 수도 없게 되죠.
Okay, so it probably gets clash bonuses and whatever.
너무 강해져서.
It's very angry.
내가 안 되니까 저것들한테 빨대 꽂고 무적 치트를 거시겠다.
So this is what it's like when people watch me and I do all the strategies wrong. Interesting.
저것들부터.
Oh yeah, it's always the ads first, isn't it? It's not going very well. Now it's angry and red.
왜 이러는 거야? 내 칼이. 저건 또 시뻘게 지금.
Sorry, kid, you should leave the abnormality hunting to the professionals like me. But it's an interesting thought when you think about it, right? Because we can look at Kira and go, ha ha, look, she's fighting the Gossipium wrong, ha ha ha. How did any of us ever get good at fighting any abnormality in any of the 3 games ever? It was by having teams of either invulnerable in the sense that they can be brought back, or disposable fighters who would die until we figured out how these things worked. It's especially the case in Limbus Company. We've all lost sinners to probably every abnormality at some point in our Limbus playing careers. I don't care how good you are, it's probably happened at some point. We have the luxury of being like, well, yes, I've suffered a million casualties to this fucking thing, but I know exactly how to fight it. She does not have that luxury at all. She is a normal person, as normal as a person can be in the city, and as normal as a person can be when they're an apprentice to the fucking House of Spiders. But she's still a mortal human being. Second of all, I don't know how old she is. They haven't specified an age, but I would say at most late teens. Definitely not reached 20. She's a kid. This is a bit much for a kid, no?
아비가 조금이라도 빨리 합류했다면 망가질 계획이었지. 운이 좋았다고 할 수 있겠군.
Lucky that the human thunderbolt is annoying.
혼자서 해결하기 어려운 환상체니 이후 도착할 중지압에게도 동일한 수법을 써먹어 볼 수는 있겠군.
I think he'd just power through it. Like, I think he'd destroy the ads quick enough that even though that's not necessarily the right tactic, it wouldn't fucking matter.
아직 일이 끝난 것은 아니지만 나쁘지 않은 전략.
And now it fails.
어이쿠, 거기에 옹기종기 깜찍하게들 숨어 있었군.
Whoopsie fucking doodle.
아빠가 프라모델 조립하는 거 안 봤니? 이렇게 여기저기에 잔가지가 튀어나와 있으면
He's a fucking model hobbyist. He plays 40k. He plays the city's equivalent of 40k. He collects models and paints them. What a guy.
다 숙여요.
Fucking run. Did you...
전부 잘라내고 시작해야 한다니까.
The glass has come off. It's fucking real now.
최종과 뻗은 줄기를 전부 일격에?
I don't even know if Hornet's gonna be able to deal with this guy.
천장까지 잘라냈네.
Great.
딸, 아빠 왔다. 아니 그렇게 계속 TV 누워 있을 거야?
목화 꽃이 붓기도 전에 찢어 밝히다니.
I guess that kind of does lean into what I was saying, yes? He would just fucking destroy them all because he's strong enough to overpower it. He doesn't need strategy, he's strong enough that it doesn't matter.
이래서 몸이 안 좋으면 머리가 늘 고생한다니까.
Thank you, Matthias, for basically summarizing what I said a lot more briefly. I feel like this will be a reoccurring theme in the Kanto. It already has been.
우리 딸내미 신세 좀 졌다. 아, 술래는 내가 이어봤지 뭐. 괜찮지?
Alright, but now you have to turn around and count to 50.
이 정도면 시간은 끌었나?
That time appears to have run out, however.
이젠 싸워보는 수밖에 없겠는데.
Throw your bag at him.
버스팀, 너희도 각오는 됐지?
Bus team!
그야 물론.
Fucking no. Is this when the spell happens? The spell!
갑자기 쓰러지다니. 무슨...
Oh, they're not being teleported, they're just falling over. That's really bad. Dante's fucked up in the worst way possible. Bus team, you ready? Thud, thud, thud. Now's not the time to play dead.
야, 너네 갑자기 왜 그래?
And Moses is like, I knew that this would happen.
이 새끼, 너 무슨 짓을 한 거야? 왜 갑자기 의식을?
Matthias is like, I have no idea, but fuck, this is funny.
내가 손이라도 됐던가? 거참. 내게 누명을 씌운 업보 하나 추가다.
Accusing me of something I didn't do, that one's going in the book. God, you could have so many fun scenes with middle characters. They're so fun. You took the last chicken nugget, that one's going in the book. Total extermination. What do you mean the ice cream machine's broken? That one's going in the book. Oh.
이것은 저자와 관련이 없어 보이네. 뒤틀린 거도 연관이 없어 보이는데.
It has entirely to do with their hopelessly optimistic yet incredibly naive manager.
저희는 이제 어떻게? 아이 미치겠네. 야 좀 일어나 봐.
에즈라, 그렇게 흔든다고 돌아올 것 같은 현상은 아닌 것 같지 않니?
But it is funny.
그러면 그럼 일단 제가 저 새끼한테 달라붙어서.
I don't think you'll last very long.
진정부터 해. 어떻게 버텨볼 수도 있을 것 같으니까.
You can if Hornet shows up. She probably can hear him coming.
여러 번에 걸쳐 진주를 부수는 건 정석적인 제압 방법이겠지만 진주만 한 번에 깨버린다면.
So you're trying to bring in that disgusting fucking clam thing? Didn't that thing... No, it wasn't that thing that fucked me up in Kanto 5. It was, It's my favorite ego to use for Ishmael, but I can't remember what it's called. You guys know the one I mean, the whale. But yeah, the clam, huh? The pearl.
행도, 팔은 쓸 수 있나?
Broken.
떨어져 나가기 전까지는 활용할 수 있다네.
Good. That is a distinct possibility.
에즈라, 죄종들이 빽빽하게 들어찼던 곳 기억나니?
Now would be the time.
네.
좋아. 그렇다면
Then scatter.
재미있었어. 덕분에 올 딸내미도 배운 게 있었고.
Another day in the life of Matthias. World's best father, definitely no problems.
입만 선생님들은 아니라 다행이야. 특히 제일 처음 그 전기 튀기는 시체 행렬은 뜨끈했거든.
Zappy corpses, can't make this shit up.
이제 준비된 장난감들은 이걸로 끝인가?
Well, it's a Pikachu or an abnormality containment facility, so yes, probably more.
폐점 시간이 다가온 것 같지만 그래도 하나 정도는 더 담아줄 수 있지.
She's feeling comfortable enough to be smarmy, so presumably she has a good plan. He's like, ooh.
마침 재고를 찾으러 갔으니까 한번 확인해보는 게 어때?
Nah.
에즈라, 열어.
열었어요.
Yeah. Fuck, that thing's annoying. Oh boy. I know that noise. Where have I heard it before?
괴물 같은 자식. 도대체 몇 번을 덧대서 시술 받은 거야. 중지면서 이 정도면.
When it got absolutely bodied, the abnormality made a noise that is very similar to the death noise of a spider in a different game that I can't remember the fucking name of. Oh, it's right on the tip of my brain. I'm gonna go through my Steam library. I think I'll find it.
마비와 부식을 동시에 일으키는 독성 물질에 거기서 드글거리던 유충들까지 몸을 파고들었을 텐데.
That's a sneaky strategy. Also, I found it. It's Battle Brothers. It's the web schnacks in Battle Brothers. It's not the same sound effect, but it was very similar, which is why it just procs that area of my brain.
환상체의 독까지 소용이 없었나.
That's a problem.
마지막은 독이라니. 장난감 고르는 센스가 영 좋지 않아.
He's like, I start every morning with a cup of poison. This means nothing. Well, I suppose he does.
어지간한 말썽쟁이로군. 어릴 적에도 장난감을 전부 부숴먹으며 컸나?
Oh yeah, goad him. That'll work.
아, 내가 좀 쉽게 질리는 스타일이라서 말이야. 마음에 안 들면 자꾸 부숴버리거든. 전부 질려버려서 이젠 아쉬울 것도 없어.
Nah, he's bored. Great.
조립식 철의 군세 네 번째 시리즈라면 어떨까?
Model Kit Iron Host Mark IV.
아씨, 이 상황에서 갑자기 무슨 뚱딴지 같은 소리를.
No, Engdu, this is precisely the time to be going off on a tangent. It's the thing I lambasted Heathcliff for not doing, which is playing into the Nurse Father's specific quirks in order to buy time in a situation where we're all separated, and buying time for another team to resolve their shit could be the difference between life and death. And in this instance, Moses is at least semi-aware that Hornet is on the way, so she's like, play for time, throw abnormalities at him. Okay, he killed them both easily and quickly, alright, but he just made an analogy about his fucking model kits, so let's talk model kits and buy time. It's funny because in the last episode, I chastised most of the team and most of the people here for chatting bollocks and wasting time, but that has now become the solution, is to stand here, chat bollocks, and waste time. Time for either Hornet to get here, for the Sinners to get back up, or both. Or for Dante to get here, or anything. Just buy time. Fuck it. We all have an innate talent for chatting bollocks, and it is time to bring that to the fore.
다 그런 게 있어.
Just let the magic happen. Ezra has been learning from Moses for years the sacred art of chatting bollocks, but no one can do it like Moses does, because Moses does it with a purpose.
네가 그 명작을 어떻게 알지?
That legendary series.
네 번째 시리즈는 그 장난감 공장이 폐업 전에 마지막으로 낸 장난감이었지. 당연히 재고도 얼마 없었고.
Surely something that would not be difficult for a middle fucking head honcho, not literally head honcho, but higher up to get his hands on, and yet it seems our friend does not have it.
그리고 그 공간에서 그 사실을 알고 있었던 건 애석하게도 어떤 어린아이밖에 없었던 것 같군.
She's cracked him open.
아무도 그 말을 진지하게 들어주지 않나. 다시는 구할 수 없다는 말도, 집에 있는 것과 다르다는 말도.
And yet,
저자, 표정이 바뀌었군. 뭔가 생각에 빠진 것인가?
She's literally using psychology on him.
탐정님이 보신 거야. 저자의 마음속 뒤틀림을.
You're gonna turn him into a distortion? Is this her, not literally like magic ability, because it's not a magic ability. Maybe it is fueled by that, I don't know, I didn't read Distortion Detective, I have no idea. But this seems to be Moses' skill set in which she knows how to provoke people into becoming distortions. Is if that's actually her ability, not literally ability per se, but if that's her skill set that she's learned, which is how to analyze people, she might even be able to manipulate people into manifesting ego or distorting. If so, that is a remarkably powerful skill set, which makes her not an opposition to Carmen, but a parallel. They're both doing something similar. Albeit, I imagine for entirely different purposes. That is fascinating.
해지라.
Now, do it!
알겠어요. 파워건 틀리 한 번 더 줘.
Another round with power gauntlets.
직선으로 돌진해. 곤방대로 사슬을 감는다.
So we're not gonna wait for him to distort, we're just gonna fucking mess with his brain and then hit him. Ah.
이건 또 뭐야? 보랏빛?
I thought you liked purple.
이딴 장난감 수갑이나 채우려고 내 정신을 빼놨나?
I assume there's a little bit more to them than that.
내게서 보이는 걸 읽어내고 그럴싸하게 말했을 뿐이다.
Just speaking the truth, bro. Now beat his ass.
힘을 주면 줄수록 조여드나.
Like those finger trap toys. I never had one, and I'm kind of glad because I would have gotten stuck. Absolutely.
할 수 있을 때 한 번에 하는 게 좋겠어. 앵두씨!
Yeah, stab him.
본국검 용약 일자.
Is this move gonna fuck up because your sword flies around? Or feels like it's gonna?
제어하지도 못할 정도로 빠르게 쏘아진 검이라면
Then trust the blade to do whatever?
올곧게 찔러 쏜살과 같이 쓰이는 것이!
Well, we'll see, won't we? I don't think it worked. It did not work.
에즈라야,
건틀릿으로 내 시선을 끌고 더 빠른 검으로 머리를 노릴 생각이었나?
어째서 불려놨지?
It's like, this is fun anyway.
역시 저 다리는
Cut off his leg is the only way.
월광석에 대한 대비는 전혀 안 했나 보군.
Moonlight stones?
다리 한쪽만 불려놔도 충분하지. 비록 장부를 펼칠 손은 묶였지만
Because you're all going in the book. It was a good effort though, Moses, for what it's worth.
그날을 떠올리게 만들다니. 너는 장부를 거칠 필요도 없겠어.
So the middle seems to be the home of extremely... I'm not sure if temperamental is the right word, but it seems to be the home of extremely powerful and angry people who have very, what would appear to an outsider to be extremely minor foibles, right? Ricardo's obsessed with his hair. Matthias is all about his fucking toy models or model sets, and there was the one model set he never got to get and no one gave a shit. And like, yeah, it's played up for laughs a bit, but it's also like, this is very real to them, and they will make it real to you if you don't take it seriously.
내가 곱게 죽이질 않을 거니까.
Yeah, well, you might want to have kept going with the psychology for a little while. Maybe talked him round a bit more, bought a bit more time.
짙은 보랏빛이었는데 젠장 저 달빛.
Big problem.
뭔진 몰라도 정신까지 간섭하는 건가? 대단하군. M사 최고급 월광석을 탁해지게 할 줄이야.
I remember Moonlight Stones being mentioned, but it was so long ago that I just don't quite remember their deal. Oh wow, her arm came off. She did. Wait, both her arms came off? Wow, she probably shouldn't have said that, huh?
꽂히지도 않고 부러지다니.
Fucking cheap ass workshop gear.
넌 자기 팔 두 짝이 날아갈 걸 알고도 이 속도로 와서 찌른 건가?
So she did a big special attack where she was, I'm totally gonna lose my fucking arms doing this.
그게 살 수뿐이니까.
Respectable, I suppose.
나는 대부분의 것에 잘 질리는 만큼 신상품에는 꽤 솔직하게 즐거워하는 타입이거든.
Like fun and rare collector workshop weaponry, maybe?
그러니까 칭찬하지.
Golf claps all round. Well done, well done. You're all gonna die, but, you know, I appreciate the effort.
뜯겨나간 두 팔이 아직도 칼자루를 꽉 부여잡고 있는 이 모습은 용감하기 그지없었다고.
It's pretty impressive for what it's worth.
너희 덕에 오랜만에 숨도 찼다. 멋진 기믹이군.
그 덕에 여기까지 시간을 벌 수 있었고.
Is Hornet here?
들리는군. 괴물이 오는 소리.
Not, in a sense, we got you this absolute bronzed Adonis of a man who just murdered an apprentice.
더 나만의 환상체나 뒤틀림이 있었는가?
Not quite.
그보다 더 위험한 거?
A very scary man. Ooh. Hello, lad.
늦었습니다, 팀장님.
He certainly is a guy, isn't he?
서류 발급 절차가 생각보다 시간이 걸리더군요.
Yeah, I bet they fucking did.
그럴 수밖에. 하나협회가 보통 그렇지. 이런 일이면 더더욱.
So did he literally just come from getting a color title? Because if so, that would be a clever way to do it, because obviously the devs would be aware that people had read Distortion Detective. So if Hornet had been a color back then, everyone would just been like, yeah, he's totally a color, or like, oh, what about their color friend, or what have you. They might have been like, where's Hornet? And then obviously, Ezra mentions him and people go, oh yeah, Hornet, yeah, cool. And then they get to be like, oh, by the way, Hornet's a color now. I still don't know if he is a color. That is an assumption on my part, but I feel pretty sure.
심사는 통과겠지.
It'd be even funnier if he went, nope, failed. I got this fucking superhero outfit and everything, and I failed. I'm still just like a grade 1 fixer.
예, 색을 받았습니다.
Knew it. I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious, no?
막내 설마 더 멋있게 등장하려고 뜸 들이고 그런 건 아니지?
Nah, he was actually saving us. And that's why he was late.
그럴 리가 있겠습니까? 최단 루트로 오려고 벽까지 베어내면서 왔습니다.
Beelined, such a card.
현역 때도 힘으로 밀린 적은 없었는데.
So there are multiple things to consider in this moment. Is Matthias as strong as a color? But we also need to take into consideration that Hornet is probably... This is not confirmed, but it's probably the weakest color at this time, purely because he hasn't been doing it for very long. Now, he could have just come into the rank of color already stronger than other colors, but I imagine that not every color that becomes a color is immediately a fucking badass. They're already really strong, but they become stronger over time. Obviously, they get more scraps and they hone their skills more. From this, we could at least potentially assume that Hornet is a low-level color fixer. There's no such thing as levels in this regard, but in terms of overall strength, perhaps on the lower end of the scale, whereas Matthias is clearly on the upper level of a middle member, and is also a member of the House of Spiders, which carries its own level of gravitas, and he's got some ridiculous enhancements. So now we get the question of what's stronger, or quote-unquote weak color. I don't think he is a weak color, but just offering the possibility, or a really strong middle member. I reckon it'll be a stalemate, but we'll see.
재미있군. 너 이름이 뭐지? 내가 활동하던 시기엔 들어본 적 없는 놈 같은데.
He's new-ish.
손가락에 골무를 썩은 쓰레기가 시끄럽군요.
He ain't even having it. This might have been answering all of my questions.
중지 따위에게 될 이름 같은 건 없습니다.
맞네. 혹시 이름은 내가 완전 추천했던 그걸로 통과됐어?
Did they use the name I came up with?
예, 여러 가지가 있었는데 결국 그렇게 됐습니다.
Fun.
좋아. 그러면 노란 작살의 첫 실적으로 목을 내놔라 이 괴물.
Well, second kill, but you know.
참고로 들으면 알겠지만 저 이름 내가 지었다.
It's pretty good. I still think the Yellow Jacket would have been better because, you know, B/Wasp/Hornet reference. But Yellow, I've already forgot. Oh, God, I was trying to check the log. I couldn't remember if it was Harpoon or Javelin. Point is, not a bad name. Not a bad name at all. And Vesper's pretty fucking sick. So good news, at the very least. Moses' team are doing all right. A beautiful hue of teal makes me think artsy crap, which makes me think Maestro. So we might be about to get an update on those guys, which is actually really bad because they're about to square off against the Maestro and they're all going to fall unconscious. Which just leaves Hohenheim and Martin, I think. Oh God.
부디 오른팔을 사용해서 제 공격을 쳐내지 말아주세요. 재료들의 흠집이 나는 걸 보니 마음이 아프군요.
Yeah, this is going poorly.
그 다무시게
Foul beast.
자네 그 악랄한 예술에 올릴 바에 차라리 본인의 손으로 뽑아버릴 것이니.
I dare say he'll say that can be arranged.
어떤 미학도 없이 생존을 위해 스스로의 몸을 훼손한 건 좋지 않지만
But the pure expression of disdain and survival is pretty fucking cool, no?
당신의 그 격렬한 감정을 담아 뽑아낸 팔은 제법 괜찮은 작품이 될지도 모르겠어요.
It's certainly worth considering.
야, 저딴 개소리에 하나하나 답해주지 마. 떠들면서 체력 낭비하게 놔둬.
Seriously, Heathcliff, you could have kept him talking for like at least 10 minutes.
넷이서 한 번에 달려드는 게 좋을 것 같아요.
I don't think that'll work.
그렇지. 너도 이제 싸움꾼 다 됐다.
Alright, proper brawler now, lad. I'll take you down the local after this. We'll get in a few scraps. Uh-oh.
잠시 기다리시죠. 이건
This is not the time.
뭔데? 어차피 지금 속전속결.
Uh-oh.
이건
Not great.
호엔하임.
Whoops.
다들 괜찮으세요?
Oh no, a beautiful hue of teal. Martin's gonna have to fucking sacrifice himself.
사과를 하고 싶었던 것 같네.
That's very, very, very He might be right. I'll give him credit. He might be right. But that is the most presumptuous thought on someone's quote-unquote last words I've ever heard. When you've been having a spat for however many years. And he's just like, he's immediately fucking dealt with it. He's just gone, she was going to admit I was right. I knew it. What a fucking asshole. There's probably more to that. She might have actually been about to do that. For what it's worth, I am acknowledging the possibility, but I find it a lot funnier to think that he just assumes. Of course she'd ask for forgiveness. I'm right. It's great that she finally figured that out, even in her last moments. That's so funny. I hope to dear God that at some point in my life I achieve the same level of self-assuredness that Hohenheim has, because fucking hell.
이 상황은 제법 예측 범위 바뀌지 않나?
Oh, it is a problem, isn't it?
실이 풀린 건가요? 아니, 오히려 꼭 실에 끌려가 버린 것 같군요.
Well, the ring nurse father seems at least semi-aware of the situation with the sinners.
요시히데는 도시의 작품 중 유독 꼭두각시 인형만큼은 좋아하지 않았죠.
Oh, she's not a fan of things imitating life, is she?
그 아이는 뭐랄까 인형을 일종의 모조품처럼 여겼어요. 아무리 교묘하고 비슷하게 만들었어도 살아 숨쉬는 진짜와는 비교할 가치조차 없다고 말이죠.
Thank you for summarizing what I said in a much longer way. Every running gag needs a little bit of variety.
하지만 단순히 모조품이라고만 여길 건 아니랍니다. 생각의 관점에 따라 오히려 그건 이상향이 될 수도 있는 법이죠.
From a certain point of view, the Jedi are evil.
우리 역시 묶여있는 실을 전부 타고 올라가다 보면
Then profit? Question mark.
서로 달리 행동하는 것 같아도 그 위에는 아마 동일한 자의 손이 있을지도 모를 테니까요.
I mean, that is probably literally the case in this setting, but you know.
손가락은 사실 하나라는 뒷골목 헛소문을 약지에게서 듣는 건 신선하군. 그런 검증되지 않은 싸구려 음모로는 연구원에겐 그닥 가치가 없다네.
I mean, I was leaning more towards the head or Carmen, but yeah, no, the 5 fingers making a hand. I'm surprised I didn't put that together.
그건 그렇고 야심찼던 조수근의 계획이 물거품으로 돌아갔군.
In his defense, it was not his fault, although I imagine that fight probably would have ended quite soon. You can do it, Martin. I believe in you.
이래서 계획은 다양할수록 좋은 걸세. 최근 전투 실험이 언제였지? 사흘 전이었던가.
I can guarantee they haven't been frequent enough.
나흘 전이었습니다.
4 days ago.
그린 예산치고 결과가 형편없다고 툴툴거리면서 저와 알리사에게 커피를 사주셨죠. 자판기 커피를요.
Vending machine coffee, you piece of shit.
자네도 한기억력하는군. 하지만 경과한 시간상으로는 사흘에 더 가깝다네.
Actually, it was more like 84 hours.
아무튼 걱정 말게. 솔직히 자네의 설비 수리 능력에는 아직 편견이 남아있는만 상황이 이러니 어쩌겠나. 반려되었던 비안을.
Nah, Martin's gonna go for it.
팀장님,
Bless his heart, he's gonna be like, Hohenheim, you are, or boss, you are more important than I am.
좀 더 확실한 계획이 방금 떠올랐어요.
I've conceived of an idea most ingenious.
아시잖아요. 비하는 결함이 너무 많아요. 성공 확률도 낮고요.
허튼 생각하지 말게.
Oh, but he is, and he's gonna.
자네가 뭘 하려는지 알고 있어. 범인의 생각으로는 그게 최선이라는 생각이 들 수도 있겠지. 하지만
Please don't die, Martin. I quite like you.
호헨하임 팀장님,
아니, 아무 말도 하지 말게. 지금 생각하는 중이니.
There's no time, lad.
제 에고 장비
초롱의 마지막 테스트 기억하세요? 감흥도 70% 기준으로 꽤 높은 에너지를 낼 수 있었어요. 매혹 효과도 더불어서요.
Handy.
120%까지 올린다면 최대 5분까지는 저자의 발목을 붙들 수 있겠네요. 남은 설비를 수리하기엔 팀장님에겐 넉넉한 시간이겠죠.
But
120%라면 장비째로 폭발해 그 에너지를 고스란히 끌어안으면서
it will explode.
내 대답이 자네의 행동을 막는 것에 의미가 있긴 한가?
This is a particularly upsetting scene, right? Because the whole time with Moses and Ezra and Engdu, I was like, well, Hornet's on the way. They may suffer casualties, but let's be real, Ezra and Moses aren't going to die because they're too important. Engdu, maybe, and she still might, because she has no arms. But that situation, from my perspective, sitting here outside the narrative, I was like, there is an imminent solution to that situation. Plus, Moses just seemed more in control of the situation the whole fucking time. Here, there's nothing, lads. There's no one coming for this team. No one. Dante is still potentially going to be dealing with the Pinky Nurse Father. We don't know what the resolution of that is going to be. Probably the Hohenheim fixes the power and she escapes up the fucking, or down the elevator or what have you. But in that time, Martin will have already sacrificed himself. No one's going to get here in time. Not a fucking chance. Hornet only just got to the other team on time, and he was literally carving his way through walls. And he's a color fixer. Nah.
그건 아니에요. 죄송해요.
He's such a fucking lad.
엘리사, 저들이라면 분명 약속을 지켜주겠죠. 구할 수 있게 된다면 잘 돌봐주세요.
침착하시네요. 제자가 당신을 버리고 도망쳐버렸는데
It could seem that way from a certain point of view.
차라리 그랬으면 좋겠군.
Yeah.
그랬다면 이렇게 비참한 기분은 아니었을 테지.
But alas.
마지막으로 남길 말이 있으신가요? 대부분의 재료는 이맘때 언제나 사활을 건 단말말을 뱉으시더군요.
I'm sure Hohenheim has something appropriately snarky.
유언은 없어.
That is appropriately snarky, thank you lad, you never disappoint.
고작 그런 짧은 몇 마디로 인생을 일축하기엔 내가 남긴 업적은 너무나 방대하네.
That is the perfect follow-up, thank you lad.
그 비로한 신체에 새기기엔 과분할 정도로 멋진 말이군요.
You're one to talk.
하지만 마음에 들었어요. 특별히 공들여 새겨드리죠. 그런 최후에 너무 억울해하지 마세요.
Yes, yes, keep talking lad, it buys time.
당신도 도망친 저자도
Hmm.
어차피 멋진 조각상을 위해 떨어져 나갈 패석이었답니다.
Is it me or is it just getting kind of blue in here?
모든 존재는 상호 유사하게 구성되어 있으나 그것들은 모두 별도의 생명을 가진 존재지.
빛?
What's I do like that shade.
패석이라. 맞는 말일지도 모르겠군. 하지만 우리 둘 모두를 그렇게 지칭하였으니 자네는 틀렸다네.
Oh wow.
세상에 저렇게 밝은 빛을 내는 배석이 어디 있겠나?
That's really strong coming from Hohenheim. Ah.
그렇네요. 아름다운 청색 빛이에요.
What a fucking lad he is. Poor Martin. I'm gonna have to use that ID more just out of respect. I do want to run a Rupture team at some point. Maybe I'll pair it up with the Seven Association, but then I wouldn't be able to use Seven Sang, and he's my boy. That single thread. One enemy. Who's here? Everyone! Look at that. That means this fight's gonna be hard. Okay, right. But we know how to play Heathcliff now. Picking the right moment on his defense skill. And the way I've basically heard it said is that if on any turn, when you haven't used it yet, if you can't get a decent clash with him, just use it. Because you're not going to hit them if you don't win the clash, so you're not going to gain charge. He's not going to gain SP if he doesn't win the clash, so just overcharge, take the hits, and then he'll fight well for the rest of the battle. Assuming he survives that long, but I'm sure we can make that work. We'll see how this goes.
차원 파동 장갑 충전 완료.
This Kanto's fucking sick. I'm having more fun with this one than I have in quite a while. It seems like Dante may have successfully summoned them if we've got the full team. My blurred vision slowly comes into focus, as does my dazed mind. It feels like something just wreaked havoc through my head. Faust, do you know anything about what just happened? Are they like astral projecting or something like the Pinky Nurse Father is? Although there'd be the same effect, wouldn't there? I don't know if the Pinky Nurse Father is astral projecting. I just know she's got some weird ghost-like shit going on. But she has to have physical form because she's carrying the Golden Bowels. Or is she? No, she is. But there's some weird ghost shit going on for sure. Faust? Wait, why is everyone here? Did you guys finish restoring the facility? Why is everyone here?
이번에도 기억을 하지 못하시는 것으로 보여 설명하겠습니다, 관리자님.
Once again, the manager remembers fuck all.
약 7분 전 관리자님의 머리가 종전과 같이 불타오르더니 마치 소환 혹은 생성되기라도 하듯 이 자리에 없던 수감자들이 나타났습니다.
7 minutes? 7 minutes? That's an eternity in this context. I did that? I remember thinking really hard that I needed the sinners to be here, but did I unlock a new power the way I did in our times of need, like when we fought Don Quixote or when we were helping Hongler? But this feels different. Maybe it's a power to summon the sinners to me when things get dicey?
아니, 그것은 아닌 것 같소, 단테.
It appears to be the case that you may have massively fucked up, Dante.
그대가 불러들인 것은 수감자가 아니라
So what, like copies?
거울에 비춰진 흐릿하게 빚어졌지만 확실하게 더 씌워진 인격이요.
Dante can summon identities now? And this is weirdly similar. It's not the same, but it's weirdly similar to what Wild Hunt Heathcliff was doing. Or Earl King, whichever fucking phase he was in at that time. Dante is a necromancer. My fucking XCOM series is correct. Season 2. Dante's a straight up necromancer. Yeah, that's fucking spooky. Like Yi-Sang said, the summoned sinners all stood in eerie silence. It was like I was staring at their empty husks, standing at the ready for my command. And of course, not only would they be able to give them commands, but they would be able to apply identities onto them, you know, identity cards as and when is appropriate. But it appears to have the side effect of basically just rendering the real life or the sapient counterparts unconscious. So it's limited in its utility at this time. Although it's actually really useful at this time at the same time. Their identities. Then what about the actual sinners who are still separated from us?
지금으로선 알 수 없겠지.
Fuck knows.
일단은 불행 중 다행이라고 생각하자고. 다른 것보다 저 황금 가지를 뺏기지 않는 게 중요하잖아.
Time for a fight we're gonna lose anyway. He's not wrong. I don't like this, but we're not exactly in a position to pick and choose. The 12 sinners, now together, approached the sole enemy. I forgot to up-tie Rogia. Well, if I lose, I'll do it. If I lose, that's what I'll do. But we have one support passive that's currently not in effect, so that's worth keeping in mind. We keep fucking up these powers. Getting some weird in Stars and Time vibes. An imperfect glimpse of the power that shall reign over the kingdom. Malkuth's reign? Twisted and disjointed. She appears to be quite strong for this encounter, but of course we have Shiomi Ryoyoru. Oh no. House of Spiders, the fingers, the pinky, yeah. So yeah, it's a similar fighting style to what we dealt with before. Blade Trail after image, gain 1 fragile for every 10 stack. That's something we want to beat. Gain 4-fold after image entanglement. -2 speed. On hit, activate a variety of unpleasant effects. At the start of the first turn of each pattern, gain disjunction equal to after image entanglement stage 4 times 400 once per after image entanglement stage. Part gain shield equal to stack. Reduction in the shield reduces the stack as well. So keep hitting, just like we did, whatever his fucking name was. At stage 3 and 4, if this unit loses all disjunction, the pattern changes and becomes staggered for the next turn. So win clashes and hit them. Take less damage and SP damage from all effects, and less stagger threshold raised by a tremor. Powerful attack every 4 turns at 50 plus Dewey Star's blade. The pattern above becomes over-empowered. I'm weary of the stigma of a blade. I like that they're throwing these in now. These are fun. I shall give you some quarter. Deal minus 50% final damage with this unit skill against targets that use defense skill. Turn ends. Gain 2 fragile and 2 damage up every 4 turn in this encounter. Applies cumulatively 2 times per encounter. So if we need to block a hit, that's actually a viable strategy. These are whatever. On hit with this unit's coin, deal slash damage equal to the coin's final damage. This effect activates after image entanglement stage times. Damage from this effect cannot stagger target. Attack skill end, deal number of coins, critically hit, damage to each target. Consume every surplus poise potency past 20 on self and inflict blade trail after image to target. Oh, okay, so she's inflicting that on us. Interesting, okay. Silent Regard is a good one to beat. If we can. Well, Hong Lu's going to be sitting pretty in this fight because he absolutely specializes in his defense skill. The rest of them, less so. It's going to be an awkward fight, but if we can play this to our advantage, it could work out. Good. And that lowers attack power, which makes everything else more clashable. Right, I didn't put that together. My brain just assumed it would be next turn. Poison. These are good hits. I mean, you almost won, Heathcliff. That barely hurt. There's charge count. This will hurt. Wasn't that bad, to be honest. Although the effects might suck. That was okay. Yi Sang, that weren't bad. They do have Blade Trail after image, which I think, yeah, every 10 stack applies fragile. That's not so bad. That's manageable. Formless Cut. But now that we know that she'll lose, in this instance, she would lose 4 attack power down, or she would lose 4 attack power if we beat these two first. And they're very weak skills as well. With the combination of attack power downs and also these clash losses lowering her SP, we would have a very feasible chance of winning these clashes. -4 would do a lot to that. It does depend on these two winning their clashes. Very good. First and foremost depended on Yi Sang, and he did do it. Very good. Minor damage. Well, can't win them all. I was gonna say, Merceau might be better off maybe defending most of the time. That's good. We're breaking through. Not bad, not bad. That was predictable, to be fair. Even with -4, she's still bringing it. Oh boy, okay. She's not a wow, that's scary. She's not a pushover just because we're able to lower her attack every now and then. And she is still at max SP, it's worth pointing out. Ryoshu's doing pretty good though. How's her charge doing? Where are you, Ryoshu? You could use DDDL without hurting yourself. Give it a try, lad. I think that's our best chance for that. Which does not fill me with confidence, but it's true. Merceau has very little charge, so he might just need to go for a quick slash. it'll be interesting to see how this works out. Nice one, lass. Good, good, good. And we get to see this as well. And she didn't do the dialogue because this is just a copy of Otis and not the real thing. Fun. Very nice. Yes, go on, Heathcliff. Oh, fuck her up. Yes, 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 yes. Go on, lad. Oh. Quite damaging, but not too bad. Take that. Big hits. It's quite a fight, lads. It's a little bit of a scrap. It's a little bit of a little shindig that's going. Actually took that. Was fine. Please tell me this can be clashed. Yeah, it can be clashed by anyone. Okay, good. We're going to need it. This would be the time for congestion cleanup and get that charge, I think. Although this would get a lot more charge. But we've got another congestion cleanup coming, so that's probably the wiser move. All right, Ryoshu, it's up to you. Good shit. This is still gonna hurt, I think, though. It's gonna hurt us. But I'm hoping we get our full turn. I know situations like this usually end the turn the moment this clash is resolved, but I'm hoping we still get to wail on her, because we could do with the extra damage. And ends the turn. That's really annoying. Oh my god, 4 staggers. Right, okay. Those need to be defeated. Prioritizes targets that aren't Ryoshu. Question is why? Is there a special thing to this? It does not trigger the target's defense skill. Prioritizes target with the least HP. You could beat that, and that would actually get a shield, which might save Merceau, but we have to be willing to sacrifice Merceau because he's probably the least useful member of this team. Sucks, but it's true. That would be hopeless. Ryoshu is fucking suffering. Real bad. She can't afford to use DDEDR, she doesn't have the health for it. Although she might actually be benefiting from that thing which causes her to never die as long as there are other sinners alive, in which case it might be worth going for it. But she doesn't have anything to work with anyway. This would gain charge count, which would then allow this to consume charge count and health in order to gain power. And this would cause a lowering of attack power. I don't think it's going to be enough, but she's only at 8 SP. So she's not going to be getting all of her usual benefits. And then maybe if Heathcliff goes for that. That's about what I got. Good shit. Ah, Heathcliff, I needed a bit more from you, lad. I really did. Yeah, she's just getting heads all day now. Someone died. That actually succeeded, which shocks me. That gives us a chance. That might still kill someone. Okay, well, we've got a full team. Funnily, she's actually playing into the fact that Ryoshu is invulnerable while the rest of the team is alive, and she's not going for Ryoshu. Alright, I have noticed this. That needs to be dealt with. Hongler has shield, so this should be a win. An easy win, even. Formless cut. Relying on a fucking fluid sack to clash win does not fill me with joy, but this is about what we're working with right now. Good job, Hongler. Oh god, Heathcliff, you scared me. No dialogue because it's not Heathcliff. It's some weird fucking puppet. Damage was pathetic, but that's not the point. We just wanted to win a clash. That's not good, Ryoshu. You needed to win that. I don't know who you just staggered. You might kill someone. That's a lot of damage. That works. Yeah, we're missing someone. Oh, Otis died. Fucking hell. Okay, that's not good. If this all goes according to plan, she'll have lost a shit ton of SP, so that should work out. Then we just need to do a triple slash. Which no one is in a position to clash, and it's targeting Faust. This is targeting Yi-Sang. I don't think we're going to win this. I'm hoping we just fire to a certain point, and I assume that will be the case, because surely we're not going to take her down this early. But we need to fight that long. SP loss. Good stuff. More SP loss. Love to see it. Charge gain. SP gain. There are a bunch of shields in play, which might have absorbed a lot of that. Good job, Heathcliff. Good stuff. Lots of charge gain. Ren's space, it all focuses on winning this, really. Could we win with Contemptor? No. I just wanted to see if I could get the extra ego generation. It'll have to be that. No one else is going to get to do anything, it's just going to be this.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
If she hadn't got heads, she would have lost that. I'm painfully aware of that fact. Decent damage. That's a lot of damage! More than I was expecting! Fuck! Son of a bitch. If Faust can survive this turn without getting staggered, we'll be able to fluid sack next turn. Struggling, but if you did that, then she would be suffering from the -2 as a result of losing that. She would also be suffering from a -2 because of Crow's Eye View, which would be a -4, which is still not great, but it's much more viable. Her SP is low and will get lower. You have a neutral chance of beating that, but you would go after this and this. I think it's worth a shot. And you just generate some envy and get some charge. But, you know, I'm not actually going to have you fucking clash that. That's a terrible idea. Okay. Good. Big damage. That's what we like to see. Lowered SP, lowered attack strength. All of this is good stuff. All of this is what we need. This is a good fight. It's fucking interesting. Oh, Dawn, you legend. Because that lowers her SP further, increasing everyone else's chances of winning their respective clashes. This is all leading up to Heathcliff's clash. Although, having said that, this is going to hurt. Not much, though. Yes! A win's a win. We take those. Good God. That's fine, doesn't even matter. Wasn't a clash win, she doesn't get anything for it, except for poise, obviously. Hey, there was a fucking thing over there. What's up with that? Affection and resentment, eh? Extra damage to and from Ryoshi. Okay, we can work with that. Who got staggered? It was Yi-Sang. Okay. Unfocused volley, he's probably going to take a hit from that. Okay, if Faust activates the first unblockable attack, we can ensure that everyone's healed before it happens. He's still only favored, though. But it would go down by 2. And her SP is bollocks. About the best we got. Neutral. Don't love that. Then again, neutral on the grounds of... yeah. It'll have to be this way. Hopefully some more clash wins will teeter things in our favor. It could go either way, frankly. What is your level? 77, yeah, that's accurate. Not great. Could be worse, I suppose. Good job, Don Quixote. Good job. Excellent. Now we get some healing. And SP gain. Good, that helps. I think Yi-Sang needed that. I think he needed that heal real bad. That's getting worse. That was fucking close. Decent damage. Is decent. Can she just fucking give it up already? We used Superbia, we don't have that anymore. I think we have to remove her shield in order for this fight to end. I don't even know that for sure. I mean, her SP is already roughly as low as it's gonna get. How's Don Quixote's? Oh, she's got some good charge. Maybe we can do enough damage to just end this soon. Yi-Sang will probably just die from the retaliation attacks, and there's basically nothing I can do for him, so get him to weaken her, and then these guys can kind of bring it home a little bit. Maybe we can just break that shield and maybe end the fight. That was a big hit. Good job, Heathcliff. Big hits. Oh, he sat. You nearly fucked it up. Also, he's dead this turn, 100%. There's no way. He can't survive anymore. We can't do any more damage. That's because the fight's supposed to end. Yeah. Or it's the second phase. Oh, yeah, you did the thing. Do the thing. Yeah. Look, lads. Defeat. But I hope, like, not act. I hope I beat the encounter, quote unquote. Yeah, I did. Okay. Lads, I'm an absolute sucker for cut with katana. Nothing happens. Sheath blade. Everything happens. Can't help it. The identities were incomplete, perhaps due to the abruptness with which they were summoned, and were nowhere near strong enough to stand against the Pinky Nurse Father, although we gave her a run for her money. Am I not even a threat to her? She did not cast even a sideways glance toward me, as though to say that so long as I didn't stand in her way, she wouldn't bother attacking me. Let's go again, Clockhead, one more time. Come on. Clockhead sweep, let's go. Pick up a sword, you coward. Any words for us with your lack of a tongue? Her quiet gaze was fixed intently on Ryoshu's wounded form.
전력 완전 복구가 완료되었습니다.
That's not great. The PA system buzzes and the whirring sounds I assumed to be coming from the reactivated elevators began filling the hallways. She's like, alright, bye. Yeah, look, she's not physically carrying it. So what's the deal?
그걸 가지고 다시 거미 집으로 기어 들어가는 건가?
That's definitely a cool person thing to do.
역시 그 입, 혀, 잘 되니 보기 좋군.
That was when the woman began to speak from behind the veil. Even though I was certain her tongue had been cut off as I had seen in that memory.
도저히 못 봐주겠구나.
Well, she literally physically cannot be shutted up.
그 신락 같은 기억 한 줄을 여전히 움켜쥐고 있는 모습을.
I'm convinced there's going to be like, yeah, you fucked up your memory so much you don't even realize that your child died or is gone or what have you. Well,
내 놈, 어떻게 말을...
look, I know that this isn't the explanation. I'm just putting it out there now. I know for a fact this isn't the case. But I don't think a prosthetic tongue would be a particularly out there concept for the city. Oh, you lost your tongue, here's a replacement. With the level of technology on display, I just don't see that as being particularly outlandish. Then again, I suppose it would be if Ryoshu's like, how the fuck are you talking? And like, okay, well, I suppose that isn't a thing that people do.
그 역겨운 혀, 분명 이 검으로 베었는데.
어차피 그 머릿속은 낱낱이 조각나 있을 텐데.
Maybe the memories are warped?
무엇하러 그걸 구하려 용을 쓰는 거냐?
Oh.
그 놓치지 않은 하나. 그걸 따라 여기까지 온 거다. 모든 것들이 헤집어져도 선명한 하나가 남아있으니.
들려. 순서가 모순되었어.
Tell me more.
다른 모든 것들이 헤집어졌으니까 그 감정은 허상이겠지.
It is a concerning possibility that her feelings on the situation are based on incomplete memories painting an incomplete picture.
그 애의 얼굴은 기억나던가? 말투는? 키는? 무엇을 하며 시간을 보냈지?
I think we're gonna have round 2 whether Clockhead does anything or not.
엄마. 라고 불러도 돼?
That implies that they're not your child. Sorry, let me rephrase that. That implies that they were not initially your child.
부르는 게 어떻든 달라진 건 없을 텐데.
This implies perhaps adoption?
아니야.
Which I appreciate some of my phrasing may sometimes sound like I'm insinuating that is not the same as like biological parentship, and I can tell you that that's not the case. It is. You know, an adopted parentship is just as meaningful. I appreciate it may not have even sounded like that at all, but that's a point I really don't want anyone to get twisted, because that shit is important.
엄청 달라져, 엄마.
Big difference.
울림이 달라지잖아.
Ah.
인정하지 그러니. 그것마저 놓치면 내게는 남는 것이 없어서 그런 거라고.
I mean, Ryoshu said as such herself, so that's not really like a mind play.
그래서 고작 허상을 네 전부인 것처럼 끌어안고 있는 거라고.
우습군. 옛날 같았다면 나는 내 놈의 그 말에 비참한 기분을 느꼈겠지.
엄마는 왜 항상 저한테 그런 식으로 말해요? 그런 말 들으면 여기가 콕콕 찔린 것처럼 아파요. 피는 안 나는데 깊이 찔린 것 같아요.
She's so small.
그래서 불행한가? 네가 생기고서부터 내 인생은 줄곧 불행했다. 알고 있니?
It's been hard for her to not know that because you won't shut the fuck up about it. No wonder you're miserable. It's all you fucking externalize. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not easy to deal with that, as it were. If it was easy, it wouldn't be a problem. But when you sit there and just constantly talk about how fucking miserable you are, that's gonna make you more miserable. When you descend into that and just fucking own it and fucking cover yourself in it like a blanket, you're just gonna be more miserable. You dwell, you seethe, you sulk, you mire. Obviously, you're fucking miserable. You have no desire to, in any way, work with the situation. You just not necessarily. I always found the phrase choosing to be miserable to be weird. It does have its applications, but in a lot of cases, you know, people don't actually want to be miserable. It's just a weird statement. But you can, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's hard to say because it's when you say it out loud, it makes it sound like it's so fucking easy, and it's not. But you can accept the misery of a situation, or you can do your best to work with it or around it or to get past it or what have you. Obviously, the Dewey star did none of that and was just like, I'm fucking miserable, so I'm gonna be fucking miserable and I'm gonna make this child miserable and nothing ever good will ever happen again. Like, so fucking extreme, which I think actually summarizes the Fingers in a nutshell. All of them are extreme, which I know is weird, but they express extreme levels of emotion. The middle members have an extreme fixation on specific things, seemingly minor things in their life that they place great importance on. Ricardo's hair, Matthias's models. The fucking ring finger place an extreme level of focus on art and expression. The thumb place extreme levels of fixation on discipline and hierarchy. I'm not entirely clear on what specifically the pinky as a whole tends to focus on or to fixate on, but it seems like maybe freedom, because that's why she's so fucking miserable and angry, because she has in her mind had her freedom taken away from her. And I should point out that the extreme fixation of the index would be like faith in a higher power, as it were. Not necessarily specifically religious, but you can certainly make parallels if you want to. They're not hard to make. But I'm having a little more trouble figuring out the pinky, probably because we've gotten the least information about them thus far, which is what this canto and the last canto are kind of fixing. It's interesting to learn more.
대답하렴.
알아요.
그래, 그걸 잊으면 안 되지.
It's impossible to draw parallels without actually having been subject to growing up in those conditions. But the person I am who grew up in completely different conditions and therefore has a completely different perspective would eventually take pleasure in the fact that my existence caused them so much misery, because I'd just be like, good, fuck you. I hope it did make you miserable.
너라는 족쇄에 발목이 잡혀 내 인생이 바닥에 처박혔다는 걸. 그런데 고작 그까짓 말에 아프다고 하다니. 언제 내 얼굴을 봐도 된다고 했지? 당장 고개 안 돌려?
Wow.
죄송해요. 엄마 얼굴 허락 없이 안 볼게요. 아프다고도 안 할게요. 죄송해요.
I really hope this canto ends with us absolutely bodying the Pinky Nurse Father, because that'll make me very happy.
내 놈들 모두 예전과 편한 게 없어 보여. 그래서 만족스럽군.
You love to see it. She still sucks. As do the rest of them.
자신의 처지에 대한 탓을 누군가에게 돌리며 화낼 줄만 알지. 바꾸려는 시도는 누구도 하지 않아.
Thank you, Ryoshu, for summarizing what I said earlier much more succinctly.
그러니 그야말로 진창일 수밖에. 거미집이라는 곳은
You're all willing to accept your misery and just blame other people for it rather than doing anything about it. And you wonder why you're still there.
진짜 맞는 말이구나. 그러니까 처음부터 발도 들이지 않는 편이 좋았을 텐데.
Of course, the symbolism is not lost. It's the House of Spiders. It's a web that everyone's trapped in. Certainly.
너나 나나.
The Pinky Nurse Father let out a wry laughter as she muttered.
그리고 너와 내가 어디 한두 해를 같이 살았겠니?
Unfortunately.
다른 아비들은 몰라도 내겐 네 생각 따위는 훤히 보일 지경이 됐지.
I don't know if you can.
그 금고에 아이를 숨겨둔 건 어쩌면 그 시절에 네가 할 수 있었던 최선의 생각이었을지도 모르겠구나.
This is a significant moment because, as far as Ryoshi was aware, were the nurse fathers aware of where she hid the child? That implies no.
그곳은 정말 어린아이만 들어가 있을 수 있을 정도로 조그만 곳이니까.
방금 뭐라고 했지?
The Pinky Nurse Father smote down upon Ryoshu's sword, holding it in place.
주제넘게 내게 너의 검을 휘두르는구나. 진심을 보일 거면 그때처럼 그 검을 빼내어서 휘두르렴.
Yeah, cut off her head this time.
그럴 마음조차 없다면 지금의 너는 아무것도 아니야.
Oh dear.
너는 내가 상처 입힐 때마다 그런 얼굴을 하는구나.
당신은 왜 항상
New face.
나를
네가 그 검을 휘두르고 떠난 그날 네가 남긴 상처가
검이 가까워지면 다시 그때처럼 베인다.
Oh. So that's why Valentina's eye started bleeding. Presumably Ryoshu gouged her fucking eye out with the damn thing. She got the prosthetic, but the wound bleeds in Ryoshu's presence. I think, I don't know, that might just be shading. I'm now looking at her face, wondering if I can see blood trickling down from the mouth, but I might be reading too much. Might be reading into it.
아문 상처는 벌어지고 의체로 붙은 팔다리도 다시 이음새가 벌어지며 떨어져 나가지.
Ah. That's what you get.
이 검의 규칙은 절대적이었다. 내 기억을 대가로 하는 만큼 그것만큼은 진실된 힘이었고 예외는 없다고 분명 당신이 말했어.
글쎄, 애초에 진실된 것과 거짓된 것을 논하는 게 의미가 있겠니?
Everything's bullshit. Anything you think you know, you don't. Well.
훌륭한 전시회였어.
I won! I didn't.
이걸 오히려 고맙다고 말해야 하나?
We gave her a solid effort though. Warp Corp team did, in fact, put in some good effort. Homeward bound. Alright, there's something I need to do first. Fucking... Let's actually get this done. Here we go. Support passive. One ally with max HP gains blunt damage up next turn based on the damage they took this turn. Shield damage included in the calculation. This works very well with overcharge.
뭐더라? 지식이 곧 나의 열쇠이니 문을 열기 위해 정진하겠습니다.
Very cool. I'm also thinking, fucking... I'll go for scissors. How about you? That should probably be uptide. Or thread spun. It's pretty good. On Clash Wind, deal 4 envy damage. Yeah, this is some good stuff. And then at thread spin 3... can consume more envy, can gain more shield on clash lose, heal more HP on hit without cracking, inflicts curse. I didn't even check the corrosion. Final power for envy resin, attack weight for envy resin, shield envy resin on clash lose. It inflicts more debuffs on clash lose. Needle curse nails. The standard is more useful for the healing aspect. Definitely going for that. This will pay dividends in the future as well. Ah, extra power if charge is consumed, which it will be as long as you get envy resonance. It appears we're nearing the end of Act 2. That's something. Hello, Valentina. How's it going? Is this going well? You having fun?
돌아가면 중앙 쪽 콘실리에를 그 새끼한테 꼭 뭐라도 받아내야겠어.
Will she though?
그 새끼는 내가 이렇게 쎄 빠지게 고생하고 있다는 것도 모를 거 아니야.
You'll pardon me if I'm not entirely sympathetic.
거미집은 어째서 여태까지 유지되고 있었던 거지?
You guys don't seem to do much.
자존심 한번 기막히게 긁어대네. 좀 너무하다고 생각하지 않나? 내가 바로 앞에 있는데 숨 한번 몰아쉬지도 않고 여유만만하게 질문이나 해대고 있는 건.
I'm afraid the power gap is significant.
너희가 본사 연구실에 침입한 이유는 4번 수감자를 여전히 포기 못한 탓이라는 것은 알고 있다.
수감자? 내 자식을 부르는 모양새가 싸가지가 없군. 그것도 번호까지 붙여서 말이지.
You literally call her ticket.
고작 우리 티켓과 몇 년이나 지내봤다고 대단한 감독자라도 된 듯이 말끝마다 그놈의 수감자.
You call her ticket and you beat the crap out of her and like threatened whatever, you know. Bad people are so self-assured in being crap. I'm not saying Virgilius is a saint, I'm just pointing out how shit Valentina is.
나는 걔가 그 조그만 손에 칼을 처음으로 쥐어보는 그 순간부터 가르쳤다고.
And what a great job you did. Yes, like, sarcastically and also, I suppose, genuinely considering Ryoshu's efficacy.
단순히 그 비틀린 애착만으로 거미집이 수년간 유지될 리는 없다.
What do you guys actually do?
4번 수감자만이 내어줄 수 있는 무언가가 너희들을 오늘날까지도 붙잡고 있는 거겠지.
Indeed.
내가 어떻게 버티면서 만들어낸 티켓인데 백지 쪼가리로 날릴 수는 없지. 그래, 이건 10수년 넘게 준비한 우리들의 염원이야.
And what is that collective wish?
가출한 개를 돌봐준 건 고맙지만 부모 딸린 개는 마땅히 집으로 돌려보내야 하지 않겠어?
I legit looked around because I thought that was my phone.
이걸 기다렸나?
Ah.
아, 그래. 이 지랄 맞은 역할도 곧 끝나겠네.
But what's the thing?
아, 혹시라도 에고는 쓸 생각 마. 옆집 짐덩이도 쓰더만. 쓰기 직전에 티가 딱 나잖아 그거.
You talking about Sora? She's not going to be using it anymore.
내가 에고를 사용하지 않으면 내게서 도망칠 수 있다고 생각하나 보군.
Gillies is just like, I don't need to activate my ego. Trust me, it's fine.
아이고 무서워라.
Uh,
네가 뭘 잘하는지 어떤 이유로 붉은색을 얻었는지 다 알고 있어. 연기 전쟁, 조직 항쟁, 손가락 걸기. 구를 만큼 굴렀나 봐 나도. 정신 차려 보니 알면 안 되는 거, 알 수도 없는 거. 그런 게 씨를 타고 눈과 귀에 흘러들어오니까.
흥미롭군. 가문에서 내쳐진 개에게도 먹이를 주는 한가한 놈이 있다는 건 그렇지 않나? 렌치나.
Damn.
그만! 긁어대라.
Keep trying to get a rise out of her. It's funny.
주위엔 그 자식이 말한 계획인가 뭔가만 아니었어도 저 케이크를 짓뭉개고 붉은 시선 당신까지 잡아 족쳤을 테니까.
Bold. The poker face slipped ever so slightly.
슬슬 시간이 돼서 나 이제 집에 가야 하거든. 그런데 당신 고분고분 보내줄 생각이 없나 봐.
Probably.
교본도 챙겨가야 하니 보험을 좀 걸어야겠어.
So you're gonna take Karen with you? I mean, I could have seen this coming because there's no way she's walking out of here without Karen.
검 미리 손질해두길 잘했네. 이 레이피어 스치기만 해도 피부가 갈라지거든. 이 아이 목에 지워지지 않을 빨간 실이 그어지는 꼴 보고 싶지 않으면 네 놈이 들고 있는 무기 바닥에 내려놔.
Now the question is, who will fold first?
그리고 발로 차서 멀리 보내.
Is he gonna do it? Yeah, he did it. Yeah, he did it.
잘했어. 그리고 이제
How good is Vergilius at unarmed combat?
얘를 바닥에 내려놓을 테니까.
Will you?
여유롭게 3초를 셀 거야. 기껏 마지막까지 와서 내가 얘를 바닥으로 떨어뜨리는 불상사라도 보고 싶은 건 아니겠지?
You don't want to spook me and I accidentally perform a pile driver. That wouldn't be good for anyone.
3. 너무 그렇게 노려보지는 마. 2.
What do you mean don't give me that look? That's his whole thing. He's the red gaze. Oh. Whoops.
나이스 캐치.
Nice catch.
교본이 좀 찢어진 것 같지만 이 정도야 다시 기워내면 그만이지.
You doing all right there, Lucio? Are you okay?
내가 수고해 갈게.
Well, looks like she got away.
시간 됐네.
Seems like all the delay tactics are over now. The group chat's blowing up. Time to go home.
아가지 머리.
Hey, bowl cut.
바가지. 저를 보고 한 말입니까?
It's not really a bowl cut, but it's in the same family. Actually, both of your hair is in the same family.
니놈, 강에서 여유 부리는 건 알겠는데 너무 나대진 마라.
I do assume that he's going in the book.
아프니까 딱 장부에 적어만 둔다. 다음에 힘 대 힘으로 해결 보자고.
That'd be a fight. You doing all right there, Kira? You had a bit of a tumble.
너도 챙겨야 할 사람이 꽤나 있어 보이는데 서로 할 거 하지 그래? 응?
I mean, Engdu is currently lacking arms, so you know.
잘 생각했군.
Oh, yeah, good choice, lad. Good choice.
내 장난감들 잘 고쳐놓고 있어. 어차피 곧 배송해 줄 거잖냐. 그리고 난 바가지 머리 좋아한다.
I appreciate a good bowl cut. the manliest men, the bowliest of cuts. These two titans of bad hair choices.
시간 가는 줄 모르고 빛을 따라갔었군요.
So Martin did buy enough time.
어느덧 폐장할 시간이 되었다니 아쉬워요. 몰입에는 왜 항상 끝이라는 것이 존재할까요?
I mean, it's never gonna be as enticing and enjoyable if it never ends. It's gotta end eventually. Only makes the next one more exciting.
마틴의 의지가 그만큼 강했던 덕이지. 희생이라는 것을 이해하기에 자네는 너무 무지했던 탓이고.
그렇군요. 예술가에겐 언제나 공부가 필요하죠. 마지막에 터지는 것도 폭발 속에 무수한 파편들이 나오는 것까지 즐겁게 잘 보았답니다.
I mean, I appreciate that it's a bit more dignified, but having him explode off camera is also a bit dismissive.
부디 다시 만나게 되면 좋겠네요.
Then again, this is the series that characterizes dismissive casualties, so yeah.
제 전시장에 오세요. 당신이 남길 감상이 기대되기 시작했으니까요.
Oh, Hohenheim would have more than a few words.
그자도 너무하는구나.
Oh, hello, lad. Mr. Fake Roland, how's it going?
자기 자식 아니라고 이런 꼴을 한 너를 두고 가버리다니.
I mean, you could actually define the DOE star with the phrase uncharitable behavior.
이제 집에 가자, 소라.
Oh god, yeah, that's the point. She just left Sora to fucking die.
거기 서.
딸, 오는 길에 성적표를 봤단다.
Report card?
그자들이 왜 너를 3등에 뒀는지는 알겠지만 너무 상심하지 마렴.
Are you mad or just remarkably glib?
사람을 죽이는 건 요 시대 네가 1등과 2등보다 뛰어나니까.
치워.
류엔 씨,
Or maybe Sora won't die. That would be good.
저분들에게 류엔 씨 제논의 거북 나선 번호 알려주실 수 있나요? 친절한 분들이에요. 건물에 깔린 저를 구해줬거든요.
Wait, that wasn't a play? You actually just got caught in a cave-in? Look, I would criticize you, Sora, but I'm gonna let you off because I think you might be the strongest apprentice. So... And also you're asking for the code, which... and trying to get us the code so that we can go save Alyssa, which is actually really nice. So... Fair enough. Your ego's cool, okay? Your attacks were cool. The fight was cool. You stood up to a color and actually did decent damage to him. She did like 20% of his health bar.
그렇구나. 알겠어.
Thank you, Rien. Appreciate it.
모든 나선의 비밀번호는
Which is psych, and then he grabs Sora and runs into the elevator.
뻔하잖아. 네 생일이었단다, 딸. 그날도 네가 뭘 좋아할지 몰라서 지령대로 케이크를 사놓았는데.
And then Valentina like ruined it, basically.
결국 한 입도 못 먹은 게 계속 기억에 남아서.
Is Rien nice? What is your fucking deal, mate?
상처에는 꼭 흉지지 않게 반창고 붙이고.
말해. 당신들, 내가 그 애를 어디에 숨겨놨는지 알고 있었어?
I appreciate it's a dramatic moment, but it would be very funny if Rien was like, what are you talking about? And then Ryoja explains, he goes, oh, I didn't know that, but I do now. Thanks. and then just walks off.
간단한 질문이야. 집으로 직접 돌아와서 확인해 보면 되지 않겠니?
That's the thing, right? From Ryoshu's perspective, it might seem like the contract with Limbus is not going to be fulfilled anytime soon, so there would be some temptation to this to be like, why don't I just fucking leave Limbus, get my strength back, go back to the House of Spiders, and get my kid? It'll be interesting to see where this goes. I don't think she will, because the same reason why Don Quixote was not going to stay as Sancho, right? But there are still dynamics surrounding it that could be interesting.
가지 마. 이대로 가지 마.
It's not going well.
딸, 방금 그 말 효과 좋았어.
Okay.
여기 심장이 잠깐 찌릿했거든.
He's a weird guy. The moment we became certain that the Index Nurse Father was gone, the sinners all collapsed to the ground with a collective exhausted sigh, which seems unlikely because aren't they still identities? Whenever we'd encountered him, he had never once averted his eyes from Ryoshu, as though the rest of us posed no threat against him, probably because we don't. Replaying his words in our minds, the nonchalance with which he invited Ryoshu to come back home. We let the silence he left behind wash over us, overwhelmed by the sheer monumentality of the task before us. Yeah, what the fuck do we even do now? Is Act 3 going to be traveling to the House of Spiders? Because we've kind of retaken the facility, and by that I mean they all got called back, so not quite the same. I believe we've just entered Act 3. How long? We'll start Act 3. I'll give us something to play off of for next time. I hear that Act 3 is really long, so I'm not going to try and rush it. What is that?
무언가 두고 갔어. 저건
It is a single chocolate button. May I have it, Dante?
마치 금고.
What?
꾸려.
What? 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 Ryoshu hurried toward the safe left behind by the Index Nurse Father. She kneeled before the locked safe and placed her trembling hands over it. I mean, the worst thing they could have done, not the worst thing they could have done, but a particularly showy and cruel thing they could have done was just change the lock on it and give it back and be like, have fun. We'll give you the code if you come home. Before reaching out to its door with such tenderness that she seemed completely different from the person who'd just made a mad dash toward it a few seconds ago. Her hand was bumpy with old, rough, but distinct scars. And some of those scars that never fully healed were numbers. Numbers that made her eyes flit desperately between the skin where they were etched and the safe. Trembling, Ryoshu opens the rusty door. So she scarred her hand because she recognized the potential of the fact that if she was severing her memory with her blade, she might fucking forget what the code is. Or she just did it to make sure she never forgot. The tiny space inside where a child was supposed to be waiting for her mother's return was empty, as though someone had carved out a piece of reality from the world. That's not brilliant. As far as things go that are or are not brilliant, that's not brilliant. Strength seemed to drain out of Ryoshu's hand as the fingers that tightly gripped around the door's handle fell limp. As though the sheer weight of the emptiness spread from the tip of her fingers into every part of her body. Ryoshu! The fucking safe's empty! We all heard the name that slipped between Ryoshu's lips like a dying whisper. It was the name of the child whom she was supposed to find in there. But before we could ask her more about Araya, Ryoshu fell to the ground unconscious.
이게 내 이름이야?
He could be.
그래, 알아야. 라고 했지.
너무 어렵게 생겼어.
not doing it.
사루처럼 막 지은 거 아니지?
Is Saru random though?
엄마 이름은 어떻게 적는데?
자, 읽어봐.
Maybe, I don't know, just making predictions, conjecture here. Maybe the idea was that Ryoshu was going to go on to be a nurse father and raise her own apprentice, and this was going to be her apprentice, but she was like, I ain't fucking raising her like they raised me. Which of course carries the, you know, the symbolism of real world in breaking the cycle of abuse in these kinds of situations. We'll see, we'll see.
아니, 그 글자는 그렇게 읽는 게 아니라
Tough.
요시대라고 읽는 거다.
요슈!
Yo-shu!
이게 더 편하고 이쁘잖아.
And that sells it. But of course, many problems. And pilot. Well, it appears the pilot and sword might be okay. A lot of limb loss in this one, both sword and Engdu. Losing arms. They're not going to be winning any arms races. But as a result of that, much of the staff could potentially be saved. Because apparently they all had the same passcode. But at bare minimum, if Alyssa could be saved, that's good. Ryoshu still out like a light?
말라고 엄포를 놓았던 나흘 전 회의가
4 days?
가장 쓸모없는 이야기가 될 줄은 몰랐군. 준비는 끝났습니다.
Preparations?
관리자, 4번 수감자는 아직입니까?
Who knows? Still a bit dazed, but she's recovered.
그 부분은 상관없다고 하시네요.
That's not what I said, Faust. You have to relay my words exactly.
시계가 언제나 만능은 아니겠죠, 단테.
No, but it's as close as we're gonna get. I think she's in shock, and that's not the kind of wound I can rewind.
LCB 진행에 문제 없습니다.
Good news, Ryoshu, we're speaking for you.
팀장께서 LCD도 문제 없다 하셨네.
Moses is helping too. This is good.
우리 쪽도 확인 끝났고.
LCA Ujat Vanguard Team 1. Whoever they are, they're probably a fucking badass. Also, I find it interesting they use Ujats, because we've seen Ujats before, but a completely different, like, faction. It was one of my favorites in Ruina, actually, because they could just decide to never take damage ever.
LCA 선봉 1팀, 우제트, 라디오 체크.
Uh-huh.
수신도 양호. 현 시각 기점으로 1팀 강습 준비 완료.
Ready for assault.
작전 목표에 변경은 없다. LCA는 도착 직후 방해 요소 박멸에 전념한다.
So if we're attacking the House of Spiders, we're at least getting support. That would be nice.
그런데 정말 이렇게 들어가는 건가?
문제 있나? 불만이 있다면 이 오티스에게 말하도록.
And I, Otis, shall answer them. We landed on this after much discussion with everyone, but the problem is that Jamila is huge and an absolute badass.
없습니다. 현재 림버스 컴퍼니가 가진 전력으로 구상했을 때 이 인원 분배보다 성공 확률이 높은 가능성은 찾기 어렵군요.
Yeah, we lost a lot of people, didn't we?
애초에 본부에서 무참히 전멸당한 걸 생각하면 이놈들은
Damn.
특작팀은 이런 데 쓰려고 있는 부대가 아니라고. 걔네도 어쩔 수 없었어.
They look similar to the Ujat from Ruina. Similar color scheme of black and gold. I think those are the same weapons as well. The Kopesh, I want to say? Could be wrong. I'm not an expert on old-timey weaponry.
그리고 우리도 그것 때문에 자존심에 금이 좀 가서 말이야.
Revenge.
언제까지 이렇게 옹기종기 모여서 수다를 떨어야 하는 거지?
이제 막 끝났습니다. 뒷문 연결 성공적입니다.
You doing alright, Sword?
괜찮겠어? 그래, 당신도 의처를 연결하기 전엔 쉬는 게
No time for that. 3 to 5 working days? I can't take that much time off.
괜찮아요. 지열은 확실하게 했으니까요.
Well, that's helpful.
지금부터 5을 거꾸로 센 뒤에 문을 열 거예요.
Should we wait for Ryoshu to fucking get up before we do an operation?
팀장님, 그 장비 정말 괜찮으시겠어요?
Is Hohenheim gonna start wearing the phalanx and shit?
날 걱정할 필요는 없다네. 시행 횟수가 적다고 해도 충분히 다룰 수 있다는 것은 테스트를 통해 증명하지 않았나.
Hohenheim can use whatever fucking gear he wants. He's a big man.
오히려 장비를 잘못 입고 온 건 자네가 아닌가 싶군.
이것만큼 능숙하게 다룰 수 있는 애고 장비가 없는걸요.
We're taking all of our wounded and battered friends and going right back into it.
감흥도에 특히 주의하게나. 환상체가 걸어오는 말도.
Hohenheim, I didn't think you... No. I was about to say that's a cool thing to do because I was about to be like, oh, he's wearing fucking Fey Lantern. That's not Fey Lantern. It looks like Big Bird.
내 부탁을 가볍게 듣지 말게.
This is my request to you. Don't take it lightly. 4.
역시 내태도 만난 건 작전이 여러 준비됐다곤 해도 그곳에 직접 가는 건
Yeah, you think walking into the spider's web might be a bit dangerous?
그래도 이번엔 저희도 만반의 준비를 했잖아요, 팀장님.
Fucking doubtful. These guys are masters of ambush tactics.
강한 만큼 값을 제대로 받아내야죠. 막내도 그렇게 생각하지?
To be fair, though, it's worth pointing out, and it's worth actually considering the proper scale of this operation, right? Because we haven't really had time to think about it. 2 color fixers. It is implied that Vergilius and Hornet are going. 2 color fixers are attacking this place, alongside a bunch of ego users and the entire LCB. Presumably we're going as well when Ryoshu gets up. This is some serious power, and it actually shows how ridiculously well-armed Limbus is, as much as the attack showed how weak Limbus is in the grand scheme of things. Limbus has 2 color fixers, presumably because Hornet follows Moses and Moses is a part of the LCD. So 2 color fixers in this company. 2! How many color fixers are there? Not many. More. There are more, obviously, but not that many. Surely. That's pretty wild.
그렇네. 비록 함께하지 못하지만.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get 2 more prosthetic arms, if that's alright.
앵두 씨 당신 말고 제 말한 거야. 앵두 씨는 팔 뭐로 바꿔달지나 고민해.
What style you want for your new arms? I want gorilla arms from Cyberpunk. They're the coolest shit.
앵두 씨와 김사카 씨가 들어왔으니
Why am I the junior? I'm a color fixer.
제가 막내라 불릴 이유는 이제 없다고 생각됩니다만.
Bamboo Head Kim joined as well. Shut up. Shut up.
한 번 막내는 영원한 막내지.
Can we see Kim? I want to see Kim. Like, I knew Kim was like in recovery / in containment, right? Because of his distortion. But Vesper's words imply that Kim has now actively joined Moses' team.
베스라, 베스파. 벌써부터 힘 빼지 마렴.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot to go around. 3.
저런, 작전은 제대로 수행했겠지?
Ryoshu's gonna have an awkward time catching up. Then again, Ryoshu's not really a details gal. She's a get in there and sort it out gal. So, yeah.
약한 자들을 심판하기 위한 작전이지 않은가?
모두 외웠다네.
That would be a fucking wild twist if they were like, oh yeah, you don't use Ryoshi for the rest of the fucking Kanto. That would be nuts. I don't think it'd be a good idea at all, but it would be fucking nuts.
다들 앰플은 잘 챙기셨나요? 혹시 모르니 개수 확인하세요. 이거 보통은 구하기도 어려운 제일 비싼 앰플이에요. 이번에도 관리자님하고 떨어질 수도 있으니까 잘 들고 있어요.
And Dante will need them if they fall over and die. 2.
보고 LCA, LCB, LCT, LCE 각각 강속 준비 완료를 확인.
I think we're going through all this to set up the utter massacre that it's going to be, right? Like, we've got all this fucking top-of-the-line shit, all these top-of-the-line fighters, and we're just going to suffer casualties like crazy. Because we're attacking them in their lair, and we're forgetting, you know, when prey forgets that it's prey.
본부 최종 승인 확인.
Let's finish this. And it goes without saying, but we'll make sure they get theirs.
물론이지.
Yeah, we're gonna fuck them up, except we won't. 1. We'll be there soon, Ryoshi. The place where those people raised you. The House of Spiders.
괜찮아. 기다리고 있을 게 없나?
작성명 거미줄 태우기 시작합니다.
Operation Spider Pyre. Ah, you're awake. Hello. Fucking, yes. Act 3's looking pretty fucking good right now. Act 3's looking pretty fucking good. I don't want to fucking delay it for next time, but we've been going for nearly 3 hours, and I'm not doing another 7-hour recording because that damn near... Alright, I'm exaggerating, it didn't damn near kill me last time, but I was exhausted last time. Plus, it's better to space these out, give you guys something to look forward to. This Kanto is great. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. Genuinely. I don't know, I've enjoyed the other Kantos, certainly, but I don't think I've ever been quite so in as I have been since Kanto 6. I'm not sure what specifically is doing it for me. It's really hard to summarize my feelings on a Kanto before I finished it and had time to think about it. But so far, going into Act 3, even before we found out about Operation Spider Pyre, I was quite in. I was pretty in. I was pretty in. And I'm still in. Definitely. Looking forward to that. I can't believe we actually fended off the DOE star on our first try. She's not too difficult a fight in the grand scheme of things, but fuck does she wear you down. Everything she did just wore us down so hard. But we managed it, and by managed it, I mean we depleted her shield. Didn't actually win. In fact, the game very specifically stated that we lost, but you know, a lot of cool stuff in store for the future. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see it. Friends, thank you so much for watching. This one's gonna be fun. Special thanks to our members and patrons: Kim Takeo, Alcavia Calf, Hotraman, Christopher Hu, Stoner, Agent of Chaos, Honor D, Geigen, Callie, Prince of Lemons, Moongod, Megan, Volwolf, Miscreant, Rakriku, Crescent, Tony the Horse, Lila Hexire, Abyssalangi, Princeps, Giacomo, Superstitics, Fihard, Mighty PH, Enterstora, Lanthelian, Gage Donaldson, Saga, Rory, Jack, Ninjstock, Ember Fox, Grand Captain General Peace, Mean Babby Bag Turtle, Curds, Kena Samaria, Portugal Break, Lifesteal, Unclever Names, Summercat Flanny, Painted Dragoon, Proxy, Caminera, Moa, Harriet J, Dressos, Lol, Etherbin, Linky, Xeon, Cedar Bimbo, Talkia, Honeydew, Sweet Baby Red, Just Kidding, Sony, Pie Dream, Ghost Up, by K-Bob, Magic Owl, The Frost by SP1068, and Namad. For supporting me on YouTube and on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. Oh boy. Getting to actually clash with some of these characters will be fucking mad as well. Even just fighting the apprentices is cool, right? Fighting Ren and Albina last time was great. Loved that fight to pieces. Absolutely loved it. The music was so good as well. Sora was ridiculous, and we might even get to fight her again because Rien managed to get her out of there. Lucio again, perhaps, and then potentially find the Nurse Fathers. Valentina, fucking Rien, Matthias, DOE Star, whatever the fuck the Maestro's called. There's some exciting stuff on the horizon. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Thank you so much for watching, and whatever happens next time, hope I see you there. Doodles, goodbye.